There was an idea. The idea was to bring together a group of remarkable people. See if they could become something more.
I have an army. We have a Hulk.
This is the Marvel Tribe, brought to you by Walt's Apartment Podcast and the DisInsider.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Hey there, everyone. Welcome to the Marvel Tribe. We're brought to you by Walt's Apartment Podcast on DisInsider.com. My name is Shawn. I am joined by the Blurred Hulk himself, David, and our special guest tonight, Sam from Walt's Apartment Podcast and Disology. How are you all doing tonight?
Good.
Oh, awesome.
Good. We are, like I said, we are a Marvel podcast, talking most things Marvel. Basically, the big focus for the next 7 weeks will be WandaVision, which is a great show. We've all watched it many, many times. So before we get going into it, Sam, what did you think of the episode? Without saying too much, then we'll dive into it a little bit more here.
I thought it was amazing. They do such great storytelling, and they're telling it on so many different levels that if you're a Marvel fan, or if you're just, like you could be a comic fan and be super into it, or you can just enjoy it if you just like the Marvel films.
Right.
So there's a lot of different.
Go ahead.
Sorry, there's a lot of different levels of depth.
I feel like it's something that you don't really have to be like a huge Marvel fan to get into, even though I know everyone is tearing it apart and dissecting everything right now. But David, you're our Marvel aficionado. What did you think of it, my friend?
Without going into details, I have to say it was like 7-layer dip. Very colorful, and you keep going back and you get a different experience each time.
Sure.
There's a lot of layers to this episode, and to actually all the episodes, but particularly this one, and it's colorful.
Perfect. So what we'll do is we will basically go through a rundown of what happened in the show, and we'll just say this happened here, and then we'll dive back into it. And I know, David, you picked up a lot of stuff from it. Sam, you did as well, just different tidbits and different things that be coming out of it. So who wants to do the breakdown and kind of say what happened in the show?
Oh, she's pointing to herself. So let's
go,
go, Sam.
Go ahead, Sam. Tell us what happened in the episode.
So the episode starts with, it's kind of like a Brady Bunch theme because we know that they're going through different sitcoms. So you've got that Brady Bunch intro, and then you see the doctor is there with Vision and Wanda, and she is very visibly pregnant, as we saw at the end of episode 2. The doctor's kind of like, oh, you're 4 months along, and Vision is freaking out a little bit because he's like, well, she's 12 hours pregnant. So that is happening. They're talking to the doctor. The doctor's telling her about all of the different fruit or the sizes of fruit that the baby will be, which, as most expectant mothers know, we think about our babies as the size of fruit. It's true. We do.
It's easier that way.
It is.
The doctor.
I thought the funny line he did say was when he said it makes it easier for the women to understand it. I thought that was kind of a dig, but I'm like, oh, okay, doc, and they both kind of had that look on their face like, wow,
But it's real. This is real life.
It is.
Yeah.
Like there are pregnancy apps that women have.
Oh, yeah.
And it shows you the size of your baby and the size of fruit.
Okay.
So after the doctor leaves, you can see that, Vision's figuring it out a little bit. There's a little rewind from Wanda there. She resets reality, and she's very quickly progressing through labor in one day. And they're painting the nursery. They are having some weird things happening at the house because of her Braxton Hicks contractions and then her real labor starting. Vision runs off to get the doctor, and Geraldine comes over because she needs a bucket, because when Wanda's water broke, it broke all the pipes in town. So Geraldine needed a bucket, and she comes over. They start chatting. Some very interesting things happen. A stork appears. That's going to be important to us today. And then we have 2 beautiful babies. And Vision walks the doctor out. after that scene, and we
Strange
realize
conversation with the neighbors.
yes, he has a very, very strange conversation with Agnes and Herb.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes back inside and Geraldine is gone. Because Wanda had a strange conversation with Geraldine.
That was one of the weirdest parts of the whole thing, I thought. But
That's because you don't want to admit what we're really seeing from Wanda.
we'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, it was not cool.
Did I miss anything?
Oh, that's something.
I mean,
that was pretty, beginning to end.
So now we can dive into like from the beginning to the end. Like the first thing, like you said, it was, it went from the Brady Bunch thing, which I thought was cool. A lot of Mary Tyler Moore things in there, the hexagons instead of the squares for the Brady Bunch. So
yep. So there's 3 nods I saw. So the Partridge Family.
Mm-hmm.
So the opening is actually the music and everything was kind of a Partridge Family. Three's Company with them riding the bikes. You see, Jack and that was on there and stuff. And then obviously the Brady Bunch, but with the hexagons versus the square box.
The swing set too. When they're building it outside and it breaks, that's a very Brady Bunch thing.
Yes. So, do we want to get into?
Yeah, let's dive into it. I mean, I think just do we go in sequence, or do you want to pull your parts out of it that you thought like just jumped out at you? I mean,
we can go in sequence stuff, I guess. So the doctor. So the first scene was, the doctor kind of meeting with Wanda and Vision and going over the pregnancy. You see Vision still kind of perplexed. He's like, dude, like this just kind of came out of nowhere,
right.
like, and he talks about, the side when the doctor's going over the size of the fruits and stuff because it's what helps women understand. I mean, again, they're kind of pointing to like the 70s and kind of how people kind of thought women were or whatever and stuff. But Vision kind of was asking some very inquisitive questions and stuff, and you see one to kind of clench his thigh there and stuff, like he's like, oh, so what kind of fruit are we talking, like 12 hours? And she does the whole like interrupt them and stuff, and like this is a fruitless conversation, let's kind of move on, basically kind of trying to kind of speed things along and stuff and move it and hurry up and kind of get the doctor out. So she had Vision walk the doctor out, and that's where we find out that the doctor was planning on going on a trip to Bermuda.
Right.
And which, for those of you, I mean, most people know Bermuda, the Bermuda Triangle and stuff, which is also known as the Devil's Triangle. And not that there's a lot of semblance there, but I think it has a little more interplay later with just some mentioning of the devil and stuff. But yeah, that was my take on that first scene. Was just kind of there's a subtle of Wanda wanting to keep the fantasy going, so she was kind of disrupting some of the very things that could break the fans, like you shouldn't be 4 months pregnant overnight, But in the fantasy world, this is or not fantasy world, but in this reality, that seems to be the case.
So right after that scene, we saw Herb, and he was cutting his like hedges, but he starts cutting the wall. Was there like any significance in that, or was that just weird?
Well, the fact that is against the laws of physics. A hedger can't chop through brick.
Got it. So
concrete, there's just no way that's a humanly possible thing. So it's just kind of a indication that this is a facade.
Right.
It's just so
things are not what they seem.
Yeah, bingo. Just like with the background, I mean, I think they made the background behind Herb extra kind of fake than normal. It just, for me, it just kind of stuck out like that. Like you see some different angles of him, Vision outside, or even, and you see that the surroundings, they look like a real neighborhood and everything else. But for some reason, that background setting and him cutting through the brick concrete or whatever just added that extra. It's kind of a facade. This is kind of fake. So that's what I kind of got from the cutting of the bricks.
I totally agree. You can even see that behind Vision as well. It just seems like wherever they're at, just in the area they're at is where you see like the sets, and like it was very movie like. And in the beginning part when they were riding the bike stuff, it was all obviously backlot shots, and you could tell it was just very staged. Seemed like it was just like this really perfect reality. But you can see it on both sides, I think, of their house. You could see the paintings just like far away, just kind of blurry. Not a lot of detail because it's a world that someone's creating, and
absolutely
we're still not sure who's creating the world. We're not, Sam. So
let's talk about the nursery. So because that's where we kind of jump right into and stuff is Wanda doing her nesting, and she's helping set up the nursery. Vision's reading all the books on pregnancy and birth, and they're about to be a new father and stuff. And I thought it was there's some really kind of cool, interesting things in this. So I'll start with mine, and I'll let you guys kind of chime in. And again, all you guys who are listening at home, we don't get an early advance of the script or anything. So I have to say, if you haven't seen it, you shouldn't be listening to the show, because we'll talk about spoilers, speculations, theories. We could be right, we could be wrong. So I'm just putting that disclaimer out there. Anyway, back to the nursery. So she's using her magic, and she's like building the baby crib, and she, she's painting the wall like at the store, holding the baby bundle, which I thought was really kind of cool. And I didn't find out until like the second time I watched it. I actually had to go and look it up. The paint, which was it says Simser's paint, which is actually a nod to Jeremy Simser, who is he's part of the art direction team for WandaVision and a lot of other superhero shows and stuff, including like She-Hulk. That's going to be coming to Disney Plus, and this guy works on a lot of stuff for storyboards and art direction and stuff. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Just kind of one of those like hidden, like, hey, we're giving our whole team credit, even the guys behind the scene.
Right.
You guys have any take on the paint or different than that, or?
You mean that on the nursery?
Just the paint part.
Paint. No, I saw. I've been watching a few breakdown videos, just trying to get caught up with you guys, and I did see someone bring that up this morning. So I think, like you said, it's very cool that they are throwing out different, nods to the people that make this show happen. So I thought that was cool.
I think this was the scene where we finally saw that right now Wanda's not completely in control of her magic because she's going into labor. Like, you don't think so? Do you think like when she was having her contractions and stuff and things started spinning and?
All right. So we'll go back to the nursery scene about that.
Yes.
I'm thinking about the butterflies. I'm thinking about the butterflies.
Yeah.
So when she felt the kick, which is normal. People feel kick. I mean, not normal for her, the timing, but normal for people to feel kicked or the baby. What was unusual about that was actually the description she used. She said it was kind of a fluttery thing. Now, what makes it unusual, I mean, you feel a kick, you hear a move. I've have children. I felt my wife's belly move. It is not at all fluttery.
Right. It is early on, but she's far enough along. She was about 6 months at that time.
She is 6 months at the time. Now, it would be normal for a speedster baby to have fluttery kicks and stuff. It would also so out of the twins, for those who don't know, the two twins, if it's staying true to the comic books, one will be a speedster, the other one will be a sorcerer, has magic powers. Now, when these babies are active, they tend to stay true to, I guess you would say, their powers. So fluttering baby kicks would be perfectly in line with a speedster baby. And magic turning the butterfly mobile into real life butterflies would also be in the tradition of a magical baby being.
So Wanda didn't do it.
She even said it.
She didn't do it.
Yeah, I know she did. She said, I didn't mean to do that. Right. So I was like, oh, maybe she doesn't have control of her magic right now. But that makes sense if there's a little baby Wiccan in there.
Yep.
So it's Wiccan and Speed, right? Are their names?
Wiccan and Speed, yeah.
Yes, okay. Wiccan and Speed are the two babies. And she wouldn't have known it. She wouldn't have known this because why would she think she would have, babies with power? So that's why she was surprised with the mobile turning into real butterflies and stuff.
And at the time, she thought there was only one baby.
Right.
Yes.
And she did say him. She did say him in that scene too. She made the comment about something saying, "Well, hurry up, so we don't him," because they knew it was going to be Tommy or Billy, and they were kind of arguing over that. So.
Yes, I do. I do love the name arguments over the two, which we ended up getting. Both names attached to the babies and stuff here.
But that back and forth just contributes to that whole sitcom storyline.
Yes, absolutely. So that was my part on the nursery. That was the strength, the interesting pieces. I actually had to go back a couple of times to catch that because I really looked at the fluttering kicks. I'm like, oh, how would a speedster baby kind of kick if it would be kind of. And then also, if you're a sorcerer or magic baby, what would you do to show your activity? You make magic things kind of happen. So I think Wanda kind of did a really nice hidden job by stating that, oh, did I didn't know. I didn't realize I did that. Or,
she said, I didn't mean to do that.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. So, and she didn't. She was absolutely truthful. She didn't mean to do it, but she didn't do it. It was her baby. So, God, I'm trying to remember. What was it?
So then they move out into the kitchen, and she's cooked. She's in the kitchen, and he's changing the kitty carryall's diaper, which is from the Brady Bunch. So I thought that was a nice nod too.
Absolutely. And so the other thing that kind of strengthens the nursery argument was when the Braxton Hicks started to happen. So for those who don't know, it's kind of like false labor activity. You're not really, it happens kind of at the end or the beginning of the third trimester. I only know this because I went on WebMD. So I'm not a baby
Dr. David.
Whatsoever. My kids were a long time ago. So, but I did some research for this. I'm like, there must be some significance to utilizing Braxton Hicks, and I did. So it's like, it's false labor activities, that happens and stuff. And so, two things happen that is attributed to both twins. So the first was the actual Braxton Hicks. You feel that pain kind of in your belly, which she kind of doubled over. And the second
it's not an actual pain. It's just a tightening.
So tightening. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're correct.
Sorry.
Again, I'm not a baby doctor.
You've had kids, so you understand.
Don't come for me. You actually can speak to that better than me. So a tightening. So she felt that, and she also felt magic happening in the kitchen. We saw. So that was the other false labor indication and stuff, was the magic happening. Now, the reason why I think this is important because when I looked up how do Braxton Hicks go away, and they usually attribute it to mom like moving or changing the setting. And when Vision had Wanda come out of the kitchen, Braxton Hicks stopped. It just stopped. So she was absolutely experiencing Braxton Hicks for having magical. I guess we can. I mean, is it safe to say mutants?
Yes,
official mutants. Yes. She's having mutant babies, and so this is what's going to happen when you have mutant babies and stuff. So one magical and one's a speedster. So that was my take on the little Easter egg surprise. So I think that magic absolutely has more to do with the baby than actually Wanda not really being in full control or even knowing her powers are happening and stuff.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And then during that scene, there is when she walks out and she's talking to Vision. The water breaks. And then he, all hell kind of breaks loose in the house and everything is going crazy. And then they go from there. I believe that's when she gets in more pain and he takes off, correct?
No, she blows out the house.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. She does the air dry, the car wash air dryer thing and dries.
And then we find out that Dottie is married to the neighbor, the neighbor
David Schwimmer guy,
the David Schwimmer looking guy. When she walked in, asked if these earrings make me look fat, and then the power went out, and he was very happy that happened.
Like,
so.
oh thank God that line. I watched the show like 5 times. I chuckled every time. I shouldn't. Yeah. It's stupid. It's a stupid joke, but he just hit it. He just hit it so right. So
yeah,
it was stupid for Dottie to ask that question.
It was absolutely.
Let's talk about his newspaper in that scene.
Okay.
Do you think there's any relevance to, I mean, it's a hydrant on the cover, but it says to Hydra.
Correct. Yeah, they cut it off very purposefully. And it says the Hydra is, added to main. It's supposed to say, two hydrants added to main, but it says, to Hydra added to main. So it could be, I don't know. I have a bunch, I hear a bunch of theories and stuff on it, and it could be, Hydra's, adding to the main storyline and stuff. I honestly, I'm open to other people's interpretations of that piece, because I just didn't have enough time to dig into it, or I'm lost.
Okay, so I have a question. For someone who does not know that much about this stuff, I kind of know who Hydra is. What is their significance?
So Hydra is all about military might. So they're not based in the U.S., despite what the soap commercial says, made in the U.S. But military might, power, that's where the true control over the world is. They're very much about military control and stuff. Where the other, and I don't really know if AIM is a part of this. I was going to say,
are they connected to AIM? So that's.
But no, AIM is more about they're more of the kind of scientific, based on technology. Technology,
and that's the guy from Iron Man 3, correct? That created AIM?
Yes,
with the hexagons. So
Shawn, think about Shield. How Shield is about protecting, and they have people with powers who they protect. Hydra is weaponizing those people. Hydra wants to capture those people to weaponize them. Hydra is the adversary to Shield.
Perfect. Okay, thank you. Carry on.
It's all about military might, making soldiers control command. That's Hydra all the way and stuff. Loyalty, Hell Hydra. I mean, that's their whole thing.
Everyone got excited in the movie
AIM is just
when that happened,
science.
I didn't understand it.
I would say AIM is science and technology that runs amok. It's kind of like Tony's Sarkovention's kind of just getting away from them and stuff. They mean well. Like the goal is, like he wants to put Tony said he wants to put a big shield around Earth and stuff, and which we'll see some things about Sword. But they don't look at themselves as bad guys. If we're talking about AIM, Hydra knows what they are. It's it is what it is. They have their own purpose. Care less what you think about them. So
they want domination.
Yes.
It's not about greater good for all. It's about greater good for Hydra.
Only
Fair enough. Okay.
Now we did skip ahead of the first when Geraldine came by. So because that was before the water broke.
No, it was after because she came for a bucket.
She came for a bucket. Yeah.
Oh no, you're right. I'm so sorry. That's right. That was after.
So at this time, she gets in more pain, and Vision leaves to go get the doctor. So at that time, while he's gone, Geraldine shows up.
As soon as he leaves,
which
Geraldine
was
shows up.
odd,
But you notice every time Viz leaves, someone's knocking on that door, be it Agnes or be it Geraldine.
Okay, can I go back to one thing real quick? I forgot. I was watching a couple different things and breakdowns of this. I know you guys think that Wanda has created this whole world, which I'm still not 100% sure on. You're going to have to convince me of that. But
I never said she created the whole world.
Well, this area that they're in right now. So when she's on the couch having pain and Vision just rises up, why is that happening? When she's laying on the couch in pain and Vision just kind of starts floating up in the sky, he just starts floating. Is that because he's not real? Because a lot of speculation is that he's not really there, and this is all in her mind.
So, I'll just say this part, okay? So, the two aren't related to what I'm about to say. Okay. One, we saw Vision die. Right. There's no question of that. Take from that as you will about him existing in this reality and stuff. And granted, very much so, Wanda has the power to actually make this a reality. So keeping those things in mind, the whole rising thing, I don't have.
That could have been Wiccan.
Yeah.
It could have just been part of labor. We did not talk about we didn't delve into her altering his reality when he started to figure out. So they're sitting on the couch together and they're talking, and he's starting to ask questions like, what's with the neighbors? Why do these things keep happening? And then quickly you see Wanda send him back to the stairs and bring him back down because she did not want him putting those puzzle pieces together.
No, absolutely.
Wanda wants him to be ignorant of what's happening.
Right.
Absolutely. I love the way they did that because as we saw when the beekeeper guy came out of the sewer, we actually saw the physical rewinding of time and stuff, or just rewind, which reminds you of how you would rewind something VHS.
We didn't see it this time.
Right.
We saw kind of a skip back like you would with a DVD player.
Right.
Like, so even how time is being rewind as they transition through different decades and stuff, seeing advancements and stuff. I thought that was really cool, and I thought it was really clever. So we saw the blur. We didn't see the lines or anything. Just it's like, oh, just skip back. Oh, okay. And I loved it. I loved it. It was kind of cool.
But yeah, Wanda definitely doesn't want Vision figuring out what's happening.
Oh no!
Right?
Yeah. No. Yeah, she wants to keep this her interpretation of this reality to real for all parts. And as we know this, so I'll just say this: when things, okay, let's say this is a false reality. So I'm just going to use this for this premise. When real things happen in this false reality, the characters that are kind of in the surrounding areas tend to kind of break out of a trance a little bit. We see like with the radio.
For Dottie when she with the glass.
Yep, in the glass. We see those, and we'll see it with Geraldine too and stuff. When real things that are actually happening breaks kind of the fantasy, people kind of tend to kind of get out of that trance just a little bit and stuff, and then the fantasy kind of takes place and stuff because they're snapped right back in. So I think Vision, being the questioning person that he is, any chance that he asks questions or starts to lean towards a way that could break this reality, she's right there to kind of steer him back into the fantasy.
Right.
Whether it's about how can you be pregnant this fast overnight, let's steer right back into the reality. And he goes along with it because he loves her, and what else is Vision going to do? And so he's an amazing partner and stuff.
Right. Okay, so we're at Geraldine. Geraldine just came in and said, "No, call me Foxy now," because she's because she looks like Foxy Brown now from the 70s.
Nope. She did not say.
No, she said the jacket was Foxy.
Oh, I thought she said, "Call me Foxy."
No, she's talking about the jacket.
Oh, okay.
No, because she was teasing her about wearing the jacket when it was 70 degrees, and she was like, she thought she was making Wanda uncomfortable by making that comment. She's like, "Oh, I'm just kidding. Like let me borrow it sometime."
Yeah,
it's Foxy. Okay. Let me borrow it sometime.
I read that wrong. Sorry. Continue.
It's all good. Yeah, I mean, you don't speak 70s lingo, even though you should, Shawn.
I'm older than all of you, so.
Yeah, I think that was high school for you, right?
Shut up.
I got that. I only figured it out from Austin Powers and Goldmember.
Oh, okay.
So here's a little Easter egg I found on the fourth time that I watched that episode. Her hoop earrings are actually hexagon.
Really?
I don't know if you guys. Yeah, I did not catch that until like the fourth time around. I'm like, that's such because you expect hoop earrings to be circle. That's just
right. Okay.
Kind of they're big hoops. I've seen enough 70s exploitation films and movies in that era to know like hoop earrings are hoop earrings. They don't really come in like weird, funky, unless But these were hexagon, so that was particularly interesting, and I have to think that was on purpose. So
David,
like do you fish on the fence?
Do you still stand by your initial comment on Friday as to who the stork is?
Yes, I do.
Okay, all right.
So,
I want to explain that.
This is where things can kind of get weird, and I'm going off into my own beaten path and stuff here. So, as we see as Geraldine and Wanda are sitting down having an actual conversation about Geraldine's promotion, we see this magical stork appear and kind of walk by and really freaks Wanda out.
Yeah.
Now, again, keep this in mind background as I tell this. Wanda does know when she uses her magic. So don't let that misdirect about the butterflies. Like, I didn't know she didn't do that. she does know how to use her magic, or it may not produce the results she's always looking for, like the burnt chicken or the eggs, but she knows what she's doing. So she didn't make that stork appear, is why I'm saying that background. And when she tries to use magic to make the stork disappear, you see the two attempts, and she kind of tries to kind of make them go away, and this big old red, ball of smoke comes, and then
pay note to the red. Pay note to the red.
Hey, very note to the red, because that was absolutely what's called 4K HD color red versus the Technicolor world that we saw. So that's why it was way more vibrant than what we saw in the regular in the scene there. So that was absolutely done purposefully, just like a lot of the red that we see throughout the episodes and stuff. Now, with that said, we see the stork kind of just waves it off like it's no big deal. And as Geraldine continues her story, the stork's kind of getting closer and closer and freaking out Wanda. And so she tries again to use her magic on. Now, we all know Wanda is amazing freaking witch. I mean, she almost killed Thanos. We all saw it, if it wasn't for...
Yeah, like she's...
Yeah. If it wasn't for Hellfire, she would have ripped Thanos apart. She is literally the most powerful.
She's the most powerful, yep.
Yep. Yes, so she tries again, and the bird just kind of, flaps it off. And so then she couldn't use any more magic, so she grabbed a piece of fruit, and right when it was getting right into Geraldine's, eye line, she threw the fruit. The stork kind of went behind and kind of cackled or laughed. I'd say laughed at her.
I'd say laughed too.
Yeah,
he straight laughed at her. That was a very real response. And because it was a real response, guess what? When real things happen in this false reality, it tends to snap people kind of out of the trance. And Geraldine stood up and was like, "What was that?" And she's like, "It's this kind of chittering sound," or she was kind of snapping out of her response and stuff.
She was a little worried about it. She was concerned.
She was absolutely concerned. And with that said, what's the real thing that I think that's happened? It's not that the stork is real. I think the stork, in my opinion, is our introduction to who is Mephisto. Now, Mephisto is very much a bad guy. He is he's been compared to the equivalent of the devil. They've been very careful about when they introduce him to not make him the actual devil, but some of the ways he operates and stuff, he'll take your soul and
he makes deals.
Yes, he makes deals. He does all these things to kind of, but these are very much his powers, and and he's a very powerful being, and he can manifest into anything. So I think he absolutely, this was his first appearance and stuff. And if you're a comic book head, you understand that it was actually the twins that Wanda had were shards of actual Mephisto himself. So it's not a far-fetched leap for me to actually, jump to the conclusion that this bird who happens to be powerful enough to just wave off Wanda's magic, and not only that, but laugh at her, would be kind of this little evil little entity called Mephisto.
And we can think that too with the red.
Yes.
The red would be a representation of a Mephisto too.
Yes, absolutely, 100% correct. So with that, and then also, there are some. I heard some people talk about how the fish on Wanda's leg was just kind of we all know that the fish symbol kind of represents
on Geraldine's, yeah.
Yeah, on I'm sorry. On Geraldine's legs, kind of represents. We've seen fish logos on bumper stickers and stuff represent God. And then here we have the stork just kind of pecking, trying to eat the fish and stuff. Before what was the thing that disrupted everything? Her going into real labor.
Well, no, she got up.
Nope.
She went to go in the bedroom, and then that's kind of when Wanda kind of snapped went into labor because she was trying to stop her. I think that's what started it.
Well, it was after they went into Geraldine needed office supplies, so they go into the now nursery, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, are you pregnant?" And then Wanda's like, "Yeah." Then, oh man, here comes the baby, and Geraldine didn't question it, like you were saying earlier, David. Like when it's not real, when it's part of the illusion,
they all play a part.
They all play a part. They don't question it. Things are spinning on the walls. The lights are crashing to the table. And Geraldine's just like, I'm sure there's a logical explanation for this.
Just like it's no big deal.
And I'd be like, your house is possessed. Good luck. I'm leaving. Like, who are you giving birth to right now?
Yeah.
So then Geraldine delivers the first baby.
Mm-hmm. So the first baby, all the magic and everything that was happened really kind of shows us the first baby is the witch. That's the first of the set of twins.
Wiccan,
so
yep.
It's Wiccan. So Wiccan's born, and I know you guys heard this part when she grabbed his head. So for those who don't know, Scarlet Witch or Wanda is very telepathic, and she can put dreams in your head, visions, and everything else. She can actually feel your energy. She was holding the baby by the head and said, "Joel, you're strong." Right there, it was like she knows the baby is strong with magic and stuff. And so I think she kind of figured that part out right there and stuff. So all the spinning on the walls and everything else was just like the Braxton Hicks and the butterfly fluttering was the baby doing that. That's the baby coming into this reality.
So that spinning and the lights and everything, that only happened for the first baby.
Right.
Yep.
And then Vision comes in right after the baby's delivered with the doctor, and the doctor doesn't even question the fact that he just ran super fast with Vision, like speed of light.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, that was fast. That was fast. And then Geraldine's like, okay, let's go to the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, Wanda screams one scream, and there's another baby because that would be speed. It's fast.
I mean, the speed of sound with I think the echoing, and I don't know, her screaming. You hear that echo like it's down a long tunnel kind of thing that she does. My only thing is that it must be like the speed of sound. He's rushing out, but I don't know. But it's definitely with speed.
Yep, it was speed. So he comes out pretty quick, and Vision catches him, and now they have another baby. They have two babies.
The question about that real quick before you go on. So I saw a couple things and things that said that because they said, oh, you named the baby Tommy, and they're both happy over the name Tommy. Someone said that she actually just generated the other baby right on the spot to fulfill being a Billy as well. Is that not the case, or would you say there's always supposed to be two?
There's always supposed to be two.
Okay.
Well, because Wanda herself is a twin. And so if you're a twin, the likelihood of having twins yourself is a lot higher.
And there's too many twin references in the first episode and stuff. And the children, I mean, it wasn't like we're doing this for the child. It's for the children. You heard a lot of that plural stuff about kids. So I think the twin was supposed to happen that way.
And if they are sticking true to the comics, which they're doing a pretty dang good job, there's twins.
Okay, perfect.
Wiccan and Speed are twins.
Okay, cool.
Billy and Tommy.
Billy and Tommy. And then pretty much our next scene is, everybody's standing around the babies. And what does the doctor say, David?
Oh, I love this. So no one's going to convince me this is not the case. This is absolutely a nod to, oh my God, the Hitchhiker Guide to the Galaxy. And stuff. Now there's a part in which is a pop reference, a pop culture reference, which is the answer to everything is 42. It's the answer of what the creation of life, the meaning of the universe, the meaning of all real things and stuff. And they asked this question as posed to this amazing supercomputer that it took like 7 million years of computations, and it produced this answer. The answer is 42. Well, if you pay attention and you see the doctor holding the babies and then about to give the baby back to Wanda, he's actually, he says something that I thought was really, really kind of cool and important, and a nod to this. He said, you have 20 toes and 20 fingers, which makes 2 healthy real baby boys. 42 is what you get when you add all that up. So I absolutely think the creation Wanda created real life in this fake reality, which are the twins and stuff. So they're very much a part of the real character base here. Like there's a few, I mentioned this before, there's a few characters that are, I believe, are absolutely kind of real operating within this, besides, you have Wanda. I don't think Vision is real, but that's just, you have Agnes. Herb, absolutely he is. You have outside interlopers and stuff. So like
Geraldine.
Yeah, Geraldine and whoever else tries to kind of,
the bee suit.
Yep. Yes. The bee suit. The
radio
the agent with the radio, the voice and stuff. Outside. So the outside interlopers, and then now you have the twins. Twins are very much real. And so I thought that was really a cool nod to the Hitchhiker Guide. If it wasn't the case, hey, I could be overthinking things.
I like it. I like it.
I'm sticking with it.
It's not going to hurt it. It's not going to hurt it for us to go with it. So now we're going to get to the juicy stuff.
Right.
Yes.
Where it hits the fan. So we've got Vision walking the doctor out again, and the doctor says, can we please actually walk this time? So the doctor's walking away, and we see Agnes and Herb having a conversation outside, and they're very suspicious about Geraldine being in the house with Wanda. And there's something that Herb wants to tell Vision, but Agnes is like, don't do it. Don't do it. You talked a little bit last time about Agatha Harkness being the possible person for who Agnes is. And, she already has that connection to Scarlet Witch. And, she was the first witch hung in the Salem witch trials, right? So I know you said, David, you hadn't made up your mind on Herb yet.
Yes.
But I had my opinion on who he might be.
Bring it out. Share.
So my opinion is that he might be Herbert Wyndham, who is High Evolution.
Evolution.
High Evolution already also has a connection to Wanda because him and his people, Bova, I think it was, were the ones who were in possession of Wanda and Pietro when they were orphaned babies. So I think we might have some High Evolution coming in later this season.
Absolutely. And just so you know, Bova's the one who gave Wanda and Pietro to the gypsy adopted
The gypsy parents, yeah.
Yeah. Which we haven't even talked about the commercial and stuff because there's a connection there as well. But yes, I like where you're going. There is nothing to dispute that Herb could be High Evolution. So I absolutely like that and stuff. The more, the better, because this is the setting events for Phase 4. So I'm all for it. I think that's great.
Give us more.
So yes, absolutely. I still haven't figured out the brooch that Agnes.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, I haven't. It looks sometimes it looks like there's a Grim Reaper.
That's what I saw. It was a Grim Reaper with
two children.
Kids,
and the other parts, it kind of looks like it'd be like 3 witches.
Right.
So I'm not quite sure. It could be just because I need a bigger TV. I need like one of those 96 inches and stuff. So if there's a fan out there that wants to just mail me one, that's fine. But anyway,
so Agatha is Wanda's friend or not, or her protector or mentor? Okay,
mentor. Yeah, she comes and helps actually Wanda kind of channels her power. She's not always a friend. Is not probably the.
She's not always a good person.
Okay.
Correct. No, she has motivations and stuff to do things, and she absolutely would choose protecting sorcery over anything else and stuff. If even if she has to cross a friend, so I wouldn't say friend and stuff, but she absolutely helped Wanda with controlling her magics and absolutely helped with the twins and Mephisto and everything else. So, but we're not going to see that kind of a deep dive within the comic books. We'll see some things, so I'm not sure how the MCU. If this is Agatha Harkness is going to play out versus the comic books. So I want to be reserved before I go into Agatha Harkness background because MCU, they're known to take pieces to make it, to formulate what the cinematic universe is. So I'll talk more about Agatha off off screen.
Okay.
Which, I mean, right now we're just saying there is a connection to those characters.
Right.
So it makes sense that it could be her.
Yeah.
So Vision finally goes back inside after he can't get it out of her.
We missed the whole conversation.
I know, but Geraldine is gone. Let's talk about what happened with
Right.
Geraldine.
My girl got mad. My girl got really mad.
David.
Woo, man, is the what did you say part? I mean, that right there, that scene forever killed the laugh tracks. We're getting real now when it comes to WandaVision stuff. Because that look, when she was talking about being a part of a twin and she was and she's talking about a very real thing, which also helped break Geraldine's trance a little bit, enough for her to like, didn't your brother get killed by Ultron? And then that kind of turn and look like, what did you just say? And the whole like it was I loved it. It showed what I know to be true in the comic books, that how badass Wanda can be and how fearful you need to be if you're on her bad side. She is no one to play around with and stuff.
She's a savage.
She is, and
like she if looks could kill.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And Wanda's looks can.
Yeah, I was gonna say hers can actually literally kill. We didn't see her actually cast out, but we saw her actually flying through and coming out of what looks like this filled bubble, little like hexagons and stuff, and she lands into this night area that looks like a military base, and surrounding this neighborhood that is called very much Westview.
Yeah.
So
we did. So before she did cast her out, she was asking her, "Who are you? Where did you come from?" And she notices Geraldine's sword necklace, and Geraldine's like, "I don't remember." But I feel like Geraldine was out of character. Like she was in reality at that point.
She knew she got caught
because she was like, "Oh, Wanda, don't be like that."
Yep.
So she knew that Wanda was figuring it out, and she knew. This is where I'm saying, Shawn, I'm sorry. Wanda is trapping everybody here.
I know. I can see that. But it's okay.
And that is what they're not trying to tell Vision.
Yes.
They're not trying to tell Vision.
Okay.
And the doctor even says it's really hard to leave a small town.
A small town, yeah.
Or near impossible.
Yep.
So his car broke down while he was trying to go to Bermuda.
So Sam, you sent us something in our group chat this morning. It was about the song that she was singing, the Sokovian song, which I thought was. Did you see this, David? Did you read this article?
No.
She sent us a little link, and I have it right here. And
I think that was actually Bill who sent that.
Oh, I'm sorry. It might have been Bill. Okay, but when the Portuguese is translated into English, the song that she was singing says, "I waited for you, and this day has come. My heart became a home full of light, full of light." That's what the song she was singing was translated into.
Well, now she has 2 babies to protect. And David, what did you say she's going to become now that she's got these 2 babies to protect?
Oh, she's well.
I don't say it. She's going to be a secret.
What I said. Can you refresh what I actually said? Because there's several.
You said she's going to make Thanos look like a cakewalk.
Yep. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, if you guys thought Thanos was the big baddie and stuff, I mean, a lot of people sympathize with Thanos and the whole draining of the universe. And his methodology may have been way wrong the way he approached it, but his reasons were true. Same with Wanda. Her reasons now are the babies, and there's going to be some things that are going to challenge her family unit. And if you challenge Mama Bear, who happens to have all the power of the world and stuff, look out. That's all I'm going to say.
Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned.
100%. Yeah, Thanos will have nothing. Oh man, on what you're going to see Wanda do, and it's going to prove Wanda for once and for all. It's going to settle the question: who's the most powerful being in the Marvel universe?
Scarlet Witch.
You may not like it because it means she might become a villain. Shawn, sorry.
Will she come back though and be good, or will she become a villain forever?
I wish she need to. Do you really need her to come back from being a villain?
That's true. I mean, I can still like her.
So let's talk about. Let's talk about the commercials.
Yes,
because we had some interesting talk about it and when we're chatting and stuff about this and I actually was it you, Sam, or was it Bill that was talking about the memory that was kind of playing?
It was both of us.
Okay. So yeah, and I kind of jumped in late and stuff, and I came to the same conclusion. I really think these commercials really kind of are this way of coding some of the memories of things that were happening and stuff. And it's starting out with like the toaster, simple as that. Like if you remember in Iron Man, and she was actually talking about how when the bomb, they're all under all the rubble and stuff, and there's this bomb that was just blinking. It didn't go off, and it was blinking for days, and only thing they could make out on it was Stark. It said Stark. Now, the toaster, this new and improved technology of destruction, the toaster that can cook everything, had Stark on it, and it had the red blinking light and stuff. So I think there was definitely a tie-in to that. But the Calgon commercial. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was going to say we talked a little bit earlier about who we think could possibly be the man and the woman in these commercials. We're saying it could possibly be, those gypsy parents that were raising her, her and Pietro. The Calgon, take me away. The Hydra Soak commercial.
It was absolutely great. I loved it because they absolutely did. I mean, someone actually went online. If you go on the YouTube and search it, they actually did the side-by-side commercial. You can kind of almost take it frame by frame. How it was actually really, really, really great. I loved it. One of the things that kind of struck me a little bit was in as they're showing all the little chaotic scene that the mom was going through. There's the little boy and the little girl. The little girl's black girl, and she's apologizing to mom, who's the white gypsy lady, and even though that's not odd, especially in today's age, people adopt. If there's love to be given, doesn't matter what your race or color is and stuff, we give it. But what I think what they're trying to do is visibly kind of show that these kids may be adopted. And the significance in that part is that the twins were absolutely adopted. They were actually, so Bova, as we mentioned earlier, brought those twins because her parents, supposedly died. Not going to, talk about Magneto things or anything like that, but was given to these people to be raised and stuff. So this is where I'm thinking like these are memory type sequences, and there's also kind of messaging in there and stuff. So so it's her as the girl and her brother, and the adopted parents and stuff. So there's the adoption piece. There's also the messaging is where you have to really pay attention. Talk about especially become the goddess and stuff. So this is the part where it's like she when a mutant, or not when a mutant, with any character go to the higher plane of their Omega level character. There's a few Marvel characters have Omega level powers and stuff. Wanda's one of them. She's actually one of the biggest one of them. So saying to unlock your inner goddess, trying to push her to unlock that Omega power that she actually absolutely has. Will make her unstoppable.
It's her shadow work she's got to do. She's got to get inside of her memories in her head and use those things to unleash what's inside.
Absolutely. So my theory is that just like you guys, there's some memory play here. There's some manipulation. I mean, we have Hydra. Hydra, you absolutely were a part of that. They brought them into that program and stuff, and they wanted to use them as soldiers and as weapons and stuff. So we see a lot of the Hydra weapon.
We saw the AIM one too.
Yes, we did.
So that was when Wanda and Pietro went to Von Strucker and they were doing experimentation. Yep. So that was right after the first commercial we saw. The second one was the AIM one. So that is another memory they had.
So I'm excited. We're only 3 episodes in, and I'm taking notes feverishly, like I'm studying for a college exam. Like there's every time I watch it, there's something new and some kind of nuance. Now again, could be overthinking it, but hey, I think that's why we have great fans and great people, because they enjoy us having these kind of banters, and we talk about our theories and our suspicions and whatnot, because we don't really know, but we have some great guesses, and between the 3 of us, Shawn, you being newbie to this, Sam very experienced, and myself, a comic book nerd and stuff, like between this collective, it makes for a really good conversation and stuff. So I just want to say I thank you guys. So this is awesome.
Even if it's completely wrong, we are having a hell of a time talking about it.
Absolutely.
And trying to put it all together.
I hope Wanda's not bad. It sounds like she will be. So,
we don't know. We don't know.
Yeah,
Wanda sets up Doctor Strange too, and man, the madness is definitely, I think, is what Wanda's going to become. So, but we'll see.
Shawn, did you see the looks on her face?
I did.
After she cast Geraldine out? Yeah. That was not. No, it wasn't.
That was Wanda trying to kill Thanos. I know. It was, you took everything from me. Look, I know.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
I'm sorry. You just got to accept it, bud.
Look, that was nothing nice. She means business. And now she has twins to look after. I think she let something get in her way and trip her up. So.
Well, she's a badass mama, so that's good. So, do we have anything else you want to add to this episode? You guys are worried that we were going to have enough to talk about.
No, I just can't wait. I just now we're into the real.
So we go 80s now. So are we going 80s next week? Or is that what we think? Or 70s?
It seems like the illusion is pretty broke for everybody now.
Yeah,
the illusion is pretty broke for everybody now, and it could be, Wanda casting Geraldine out. So now we know.
Right.
Wanda knows that she's there, and she knows how to get out if she wanted to, because she sent Geraldine out. Right. So Wanda wants to be there, and the people that are there because Wanda wants them there.
Oh, yeah.
And if she realizes that you're not supposed to be part of her illusion, she's going to kick your butt out.
And there's still some stuff that we've seen in the actual previews that we haven't even seen yet. There's the Halloween costumes that when Agnes says something to them about, "Are you here to save us?" And so, I mean, there's still so much more stuff to
I think that's next. So I think we're going to get, and this is my opinion, I think we're going to get a little bit of kind of a Roseanne. We may see some so the Halloween thing, I don't know why in my head, it reminds me of E.T. This,
absolutely.
The Halloween scene and stuff. Yeah. And the kind of twilighty at night and stuff, but it's still daytime. It has this, and that's all 80s. So
right.
I think that's where we're going, and we're going to see some references, which is my favorite decade. 80s were awesome.
Right.
Sweet 16, John Hughes stuff. I mean, John Candy. Oh my God! So I can't wait. I hope they have really cool references for the 80s and stuff in the next episode. But we could finish on the tail end of the 70s. 70s did a lot of stuff too. But
right. I'm looking forward to the Full House episode too. That'll be nice that we discussed last week. So that'll be nice.
You want the Olsen twins to make a guest appearance?
No. Just Elizabeth is fine. That's fine.
He's very selective about his Olsens.
Right. Oh yeah. I mean, come on.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, with that being said, I think we can wrap up this week of episode 3 of WandaVision. Sam, thank you so much for staying up to be on with us. I appreciate it. You've had a hell of a day, so I'm glad you were able to make it on with us. David, as always, brother, I appreciate you doing this. So from all of us here at the Marvel Tribe and Walt's Apartment Podcast, I want to thank you, and we'll see you next week. Good night, guys.
Bye.
All right. Go.